Good evening and welcome to the March 4, 2024 regular meeting of Mayor and City Council. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to ask one of the members of our Boy Scout group here tonight, Devin Zavalza from St. Martin's, to lead us in the Pledge. If everyone could please rise, that'd be great.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Devin. Next item on our agenda is reflection, and I'd like to call for a moment of silence, please. Thank you all very much. Next on our agenda is approval of minutes. Tonight we have one set of minutes before us. It's from the regular session on Tuesday, February 20th. What is the pleasure of the council?
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. Next on our agenda is appointments. And first we have an appointment to the Planning Commission. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mr. Mayor, I will move approval of your resolution appointing Carol Reeg of Pheasant Run to the Planning Commission, filling an unexpired term of Sharon Cantrell. It's very small print.
True.
Term ending March 2026.
Second.
Okay, that was a literal tie. We're gonna have to see how that comes out in the minutes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. Next, we have an appointment to the Board of Appeals. What is the pleasure of the council?
Mayor, I move for the appointment of Shanika Whitehurst to the Board of Appeals with a term expiring January 2027.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, that carries 5-0. And I don't see Carol in here, and I was told that Shanika is watching us on Zoom. So thanks to both of them, and congratulations to both of them for being appointed. And I'll just remind everybody something I say all the time. Serving on one of our committees, boards, commissions is a great way to get involved with the city and contribute meaningfully to the business of the city, and meet like-minded people and learn how the city works. It's a great thing. So hope all of you will consider it. And we will congratulate Shanika and Carol when we see them in person as well. Okay, so next we have presentations. I'm going to join the chief up at the podium for Police Department Annual Awards, and then I'm going to stay there, and Tanisha is going to join me and give out Employee Recognition Awards. So, chief first.
All right, good evening. We are pleased tonight to recognize the award recipients of the 2023 Officer of the Year, Supervisor of the Year, and an officer with the Life Saving Award. Although all of the department's individual awards are important and honorable, the Officer of the Year and the Supervisor of the Year awards are unique in that they require sustained exemplary performance over an entire year, as opposed to other awards that can be received for a single act. At this time, Lieutenant Sean Eastman will join me at the podium to provide the Officer and the Supervisor of the Year recognition.
If I could have Officer Leonel de Orbe come up to the podium. Officer Del Orbe has been on an upwards trajectory since his appointment from police cadet to police officer in 2019. He volunteers to take on extra tasks, such as assisting with traffic enforcement details, serving on the department's honor guard, and conducting nearly 60 hours of Spanish translation in 2023. He provides a calming presence with his ability to connect with people in Spanish. He does not hesitate to step in and step up. In one such example, he played a significant role in an arson investigation where the suspect set fires to numerous local businesses, resulting in thousands of dollars of damage. The arsonist was apprehended, and Officer Del Orbe, in addition to other contributions, served as a translator during the interview, which resulted in a confession. He also possesses an uncanny ability to be in the right spot at the right time. Whether this is happening upon a theft from auto suspect culminating in a foot pursuit in the recovery of a loaded firearm, or apprehending a domestic violence offender who had just fled from the scene after punching, choking, and then striking the victim in the head with a handgun. He does all of this while being disciplined and professional. Over the course of 2023, he made 50 total arrests, 32 of which were driving under the influence. Responded to nearly 900 calls for service, issued 1,000 traffic citations and warnings, hopefully to nobody in here. Recovered 2 handguns and wrote 113 reports. He accomplished all of this without receiving one single citizen complaint. He is committed to protecting the community and to setting the standard. It is for all these reasons that Officer Leonel Del Orbe is the 2023 Officer of the Year. See you in 2024? All right, if I could have Sergeant Shane Eastman come up to the podium to receive the Supervisor of the Year Award. It should be pointed out that Sergeant Eastman is Officer Del Orbe's supervisor, also my brother, in case anybody was wondering. What is also unique is that Sergeant Eastman's entire shift contributed to his nomination. His shift cited his leadership abilities, which ranges from fostering careers to setting the example by engaging in proactive policing. We discussed the arson investigation and Officer Del Orbe's nomination. Sergeant Eastman was the supervisor who spearheaded this investigation from the outset. When assigning roles, he tapped into his officers' abilities and assigned them specific tasks. He possesses an advanced knowledge of crime in the community, which allows him to connect the dots and allocate resources that produce results. In one such case, a juvenile had been plaguing the community with offenses ranging from assaults to thefts to drug-related crimes. Rather than responding to these crimes individually, he utilized problem solving by engaging in both crime analysis and resource outreach. These efforts resulted in protecting the community through an arrest, while simultaneously advocating for substance abuse in hopes for the greatest outcome. He has a work yourself out of a job mentality. This means that he strives to uplift his subordinates so that they can take on increasing responsibility with the goal of leaving things better than when they were found. He maintains a professional demeanor and is a source of calm on scenes. This, in turn, is infectious. The nomination cited that he consistently checks on others when they are sick or having other issues that are occurring outside of work, showing that he cares. For all these contributions to the department and the community as a whole, Sergeant Shane Eastman, again my brother, was selected as the 2023 Supervisor of the Year.
Okay. Up next is the Life Saving Award. If Officer Azkayan could come up here, stand next to me, please. On October 18th, 2023, at 3:45 a.m., Officer Nick Azkayan and other officers of Shift 8 with the Gaithersburg Police Department were assisting a Montgomery County police officer on a traffic stop in the 200 block of Professional Drive. While assisting on that stop, they heard radio transmissions by several other Montgomery County police officers. Those radio transmissions were documenting observations of a vehicle being driven recklessly on I-270 near the Clarksburg outlets. The 19-year-old driver has been known to provoke officers into chasing him. But that morning, officers did not pursue the vehicle. Instead, they set up in strategic places up and down I-270 from Clarksburg to Rockville. The driver was seen doing donuts, getting on and off the highway, wildly swerving and speeding, reaching speeds up to 110 miles per hour. After he nearly ran another car off the road, officers made the decision to deploy stop sticks. That's when a Montgomery County Police Sergeant parked his patrol car on the left shoulder of northbound I-270 near Watkins Mill and got out to lay down the stop sticks. The driver came up the highway and intentionally moved from middle lanes to the far left lane, barreling down the road toward the sergeant. The driver hit the sergeant and continued speeding down the highway, but after a short distance, he hit stop sticks laid out by another officer and was arrested. Officer Azkayan heard the sergeant's radio transmission that he was struck and needed help. Officer Azkayan and other officers immediately responded to assist. Once there, officers observed the sergeant bleeding profusely from his lower extremities. Officers began to render aid to the sergeant, which consisted of Officer Azkayan and other Montgomery County police officers applying tourniquets to control the bleeding as they waited for an ambulance. The sergeant was taken to the hospital in critical condition and has lost the use of both of his legs. Due to his quick and decisive actions that resulted in the saving of a life, Officer Nick Azkayan is recognized with the Life Saving Award. That concludes the presentations. We're having a reception back at the station, so all of the family and friends here, you're welcome to join us back at the station. Thank you.
Congratulations to all of our police officer winners this evening. The police do their presentation once a year. I get the honor of being before you 4 times a year to brag more about this city's amazingly talented and dedicated employees. The quarterly Employee Recognition Awards are an opportunity to highlight just a few of these exceptional people who work to make this city the very great place that it is every single day. Tonight, we will congratulate Sheila Booley and the Elections Intake Team, winners of the 2023 Employee Recognition Award for the 4th quarter. That would be October 1st through December 31st of 2023. The winners were nominated by their peers, and nominations were based on criteria embodying the city's 5 values under the strategic plan: accountability, caring, excellence, integrity, and teamwork, or ACIT. Final selections were made by the recognition committee, comprised of employees from each city department. I will ask Sheila and the elections intake team to join us at the podium while I tell the audience a little bit about why you're receiving the award. First up, our employee of the quarter, Sheila Booley. Sheila's with the Parks, Rec, and Culture Department. She was nominated for the positive impact that she makes as a program supervisor at Casey Community Center. Sheila was recognized for facilitating programming and community engagement and for enhancing the working environment at Casey. Making sure programs reflect and celebrate this city's diversity is extremely important to Sheila, who developed, planned, and facilitated a number of events and programs highlighting various cultural celebrations. Program participants made Diwali lanterns while learning about the traditions and importance of Diwali. Learn and Play students learned about Hanukkah in a day-long celebration. And Sheila invited Multicultural Affairs Committee members to share in the importance and information about Olive Harvest Festival, a Middle Eastern celebration, and Three Kings Day, a holiday celebrated by many Spanish-speaking countries. Her efforts also resulted in this year's Halloween and Christmas events being one of the most successful. She made the annual Boo Bash and Coco's with the Claws bigger, better, and more cost-effective, which the city manager loves. The events drew more than 700 people combined. Coworkers credited Sheila with demonstrating passion, commitment, and reliability as she undertakes her work with a cheerful disposition. I had the opportunity to experience that as Sheila helped us breathe life into the state of the city, which returned in person last year. We want to thank her for those efforts as well. Despite facing personal challenges, including the loss of a family member, Sheila continued to offer assistance and leadership in planning numerous activities for families and children. Sheila, thank you and congratulations. Next up, the elections intake team. This team consists of former employees Tam Castillo, who worked in Parks, Rec, and Culture, Wes Rhodes from our city attorney's office, and current employees Debbie Edwards-Stanback, who is a recent new current employee, returned to the city, and Ted Trabucco from IT. The team was recognized for their work staffing the single and only in-person elections check-in station on November 7th, 2023. Multiple stations had been planned to quickly move voters through the lines. However, a contractor's technical failure the day before eliminated the ability to have multiple stations. These 4 staff members worked the entire time the polls were open, processing 1,482 voters in over 13 hours. While at times the wait was as long as 45 minutes, their efforts prevented even longer wait times. Their dedication ensured city voters could exercise their right to vote and helped ensure a successful election day for the city. Congratulations to the elections intake team.
I'll do my best. Nice and proud.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda, next presentation, I'm going to invite our lobbying team, Teresa Hessler and Sarah Peters, to the podium or to the table, whichever they would prefer, to give us an update on what's going on in this crazy session.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor Ashman and members of the council. For the record, my name is Teresa Hessler, CEO of Ashler Government Relations, and I'm joined this evening with my colleague, Ms. Sarah Peters. With less than 40 days remaining in the 2024 legislative session, we are here this evening to present our mid-session report. To date, this session has had 1,558 Senate bills introduced and just close to 1,900 House bills. A very small portion of those are legislative bond initiatives. As bills continue to move, our team will regularly review bills and ensure that the city continues to have a voice in discussions. We would begin tonight by touching on a few items of interest that the city had originally prioritized, including tracking Governor Moore's housing package, which is comprised of 4 cross-filed bills. The first being the Housing Expansion and Affordability Act, Senate Bill 484 and House Bill 538. These seek to directly address Maryland's housing supply and affordability crisis to lower costs and expand economic opportunities for Marylanders across the state. The second bills being Senate Bill 483 and House Bill 599, the Housing and Community Development Financing Act, which focus on strengthening state financing tools for housing, construction, and community development investments. The third housing bill is the Renters' Rights Stabilization Act, Senate Bill 481 and House Bill 693, which address the immediate needs of renters who are experiencing housing instability. We've also included extensive details in a handout that we will provide to council that go through the intricacies of each piece of legislation. All four of these bills and cross files have had hearings in the last couple of weeks, but as of today, none have moved out of committee yet, as they are extensive and we expect conversations to continue across the aisle. Another major topic this session is juvenile justice reform. Basically, Senate Bill 744 and House Bill 814. Both of these pieces of legislation have recently moved and do contain some amendments, which I will briefly touch on. One amendment would require a child between the ages of 10 and 12 to be referred to an at-risk youth and prevention program, a program which would be managed by a law enforcement agency or local state's attorney's office, a local care team, or a community-based service provider. The changes would also require a law enforcement officer who arrests a youth to file a written report with the Department of Juvenile Services detailing whether the young person was referred to a program or not. Both chambers' bills would require DJS to complete a 3-year plan that includes programs for youth who are at the highest risk of becoming victims or perpetrators of gun violence. However, the House bill designates that the programs would be targeted for youth ages 10 to 14. The House bill is now on first reader in the Senate, and the Senate bill could pass to the House as early as this evening. Additionally, unrelated to juvenile justice, last Friday, the city of Gaithersburg weighed in to support House Bill 924, sponsored by Delegate Spiegel, which seeks to establish a regional transportation authority. The AGR team in the city of Gaithersburg have also met with sponsors of other legislation close to our hearts, House Bill 571 and Senate Bill 485, modifications to the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Program, to discuss possible amendments to incorporate a provision for conducting a study of the legislation in states where an opt-out provision for local governments have been allowed. Neither the House nor the Senate have moved that bill out of the committee thus far. The city of Gaithersburg has also supported several other bills, including House Bill 212, cross-filed with Senate Bill 155, vehicle laws, noise abatement monitoring systems, and authorization. This bill establishes a regulatory framework for local jurisdictions to use noise abatement monitoring systems on state and local highways. This has moved favorably out of committee. Gaithersburg has also supported House Bill 8 and Senate Bill 48, the Maryland Police Training and Standards Commission, allowing additional eligibility for officers and recruitment. Neither bill has been voted out of committee yet. House Bill 601 and Senate Bill 442, street racing and exhibition driving, prohibited acts, enforcement, and penalties. If passed, this bill increases penalties and points assessments for violations related to participating in racing or speed contests. Both the House and the Senate bill have moved to the opposite chamber with the same amendment, which is just clarifying a term in the language. And then lastly, House Bill 1001, Motor Vehicles, Automated Enforcement Programs, Privacy Protections. While this bill has not moved out of the committee, the city of Gaithersburg has asked for some amendments to be included, which would protect some of our current practices as they pertain to enforcement programs. We have also prepared support for House Bill 815, Economic Development, the Maryland Financial Empowerment Center Network pilot program, which would establish the pilot across the state. This bill will have a hearing on March 6th, which is just this week, and the city has provided a letter of support. In addition to legislation, the AGR team is continuing to push for other priorities for the city, including solutions to parking issues caused by restrictions prescribed by homeowners associations, and has requested a letter of advice from the Office of the Attorney General for guidance. And lastly, we are continuing to monitor and advocate for the city's 2 legislative bond initiatives. And with that, we are happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you both so much, and for all of the help and support that you give us throughout the year, really, but particularly during session. I just wanted to note for the public that the FEC bill that Teresa referenced is our former council member Ryan Spiegel's bill that would set up a similar structure at the state level to what we have here in Gaithersburg with our Financial Empowerment Center. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm in touch with you guys and the MML Legislative Committee and Tom Monaghan a lot about this stuff, so I want to open it up to council members who have questions or comments. Neil, I figure you want to talk about the regional transportation.
Well, sure. I'm just curious what you're hearing on 924. Is there any scuttlebutt at this point? We only just had the committee hearing on Friday.
Yes, and great job testifying, by the way. So as the hearing was just on Friday, we haven't heard much yet, but we will certainly keep everyone updated as things move.
All right, I want good news.
Any other questions or comments? Go ahead, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you, Teresa and Sarah. It's great to see you both. In terms of the juvenile justice bill, what's the temperament? Is it agreement? Is there some, I don't want to say hostility, what's a better word?
So the Senate bill passed out of the Senate 47-0, and the House bill passed out of the House 126-6, with only 6 delegates in opposition. Now, there might be further discussion, but everybody agreed that things need to change this year, so all stakeholders were at the table.
Okay, all right, fantastic.
Now, I will just temper our expectations with the bill. The bill, the reason it passed so overwhelmingly is because it was a compromise bill and doesn't do quite everything that we might have wanted it to do. And if we had Chief Soroka still in the room, I'm sure he'd give us an earful about that. It sort of nibbles at the edges, but it is going in the right direction, the right direction. The direction we like to see it go, it's heading sort of that way. Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Teresa, Sarah, thank you as always for all of your hard work. I know that's a lot of bills to track, and appreciate all of your efforts. The noise abatement bill, I know this is the second year that this is attempted. Our delegate, Julie Polakovich-Carr, I know, introduced it last year. I think she introduced it again this year. That is something that I hear quite often from our constituents about needing to do something, and it's been very frustrating, saying how much our hands have been tied due to current legislation. So just for the benefit of the public, could you explain, if this were to move forward, what this would allow us to do?
Yes, absolutely. So it would allow local jurisdictions to put in noise monitoring systems. So if an exhaust is loud, and any other mechanism, similar to how speed cameras work. So a lot of the conversation was last year is just how would this be implemented, and looking back at other places that had done something similar.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, living right off of Mid-County Highway, can hear it from my own home. So looking forward to hopefully good news on that one as well. And then the pilot program for economic development, it's exciting that we might be able to take what started as Bank on Gaithersburg, turn into the FEC, might be able to go statewide. Is that, I know for a freshman delegate to be able to get something rather impactful through is often challenging. How is that bill being received, and what are your thoughts on its prognosis?
So the hearing will be this Wednesday. So after the hearing, we'll have more to report back.
Very good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Jim. Rob, okay. I think we're good. Thank you very much. You guys, just for everyone's knowledge, not that you need to know, but neither Teresa nor Sarah live in the city of Gaithersburg. They have to come quite a distance to come present to us, so we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is public comments. This is the time the mayor and council would like to hear from anybody who'd like to speak on any topic that's not a public hearing topic. And tonight that's easy because we have no public hearings. We ask that you state your name and address or neighborhood for the record if you feel more comfortable neighborhood. Keep your comments to no more than 3 minutes. And Do we have anybody in the room who would like to speak tonight under public comments? Okay, not seeing. Okay, let me check Zoom. If there's anybody on Zoom who would like to speak this evening, just use the raise hand function and I will call on you. I see one hand. Okay, tech team, if you could bring up Shanika Whitehurst, that would be great. Shanika, just when you unmute yourself, state your name, address, or neighborhood, and go right ahead.
Hi, good evening. Shanika Whitehurst. I live in the Deer Park neighborhood. I just want to say thank you for the appointment to the Board of Appeals, and I look forward to working with the matters of the city. That's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Shanika. We are grateful for your service and look forward to hopefully many years of contributions to the city on a very important commission. So thank you very much.
For sure. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
You too. Do we have anyone else on Zoom? Use the raise hand function. I'll call on you. Going once, going twice. Not seeing any. Okay, we will end our public comments there. And thank you, Shanika, for your testimony and for your service. Next is from the mayor and city council, and we're going to start with Jim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I want to add my congratulations to Carol and to Shanika on your appointments, and thank you for your service as well. These are two incredibly important committees for the city, and I know that they are in good hands with both of them. I also want to extend my congratulations to Officer Del Orbe, Officer Oskayan, and Sergeant Eastman on your awards this evening. Just incredible work. The city of Gaithersburg is so proud to have such a fantastic police department. The quality of the officers, the quality of the police work that we get flows from Chief Soroka on down through all of our officers, and I just appreciate really having you as an example to other municipalities, jurisdictions around the country. We're really blessed to have you. I want to congratulate Sheila Booley and the elections intake team. That election day challenge was quite something, and technology is great when it works, and when it doesn't, the humans have to scramble, and they did a fantastic job in doing that. And it was a testament to our voters who stood in those lines and were understanding for the most part, and stuck around to make sure that they were able to cast their vote. So kudos all around there. I want to welcome Troop 926 of the Boy Scouts. It is always good to see you all. My good friend Greg Cooksey is their Scout Master. I had the good fortune and honor of being able to speak to them at their Eagle Scout Court of Honor last year, and it is great to see them here and having them see municipal government in action, and it's always good. I've known some of these scouts since they were Cub Scouts when Sean was in the Cub Scouts, so it's good to see you all. This week, there's a very, very exciting thing happening in the city of Gaithersburg, something we've been waiting for, many of us, for a very long time, and that is the grand opening of our Wawa. Yeah, exactly. It is I think that's worth applause, absolutely. We've only been waiting for about 5 years. It didn't come without controversy, but now that it's here, I'm really looking forward to having such a well-known brand name in Old Town. When I was the chair of the Old Town Advisory Committee, one of the things I kept hearing was, why don't we get brand names like Starbucks in Old Town? And we had sessions with Tom and Sharon's team talking about, how much disposable income within a certain radius of an intersection. And something like a Wawa is going to bring new people to Gaithersburg. It's going to attract new businesses. In 2018, Wawa won the favorite sandwich shop in America. It was the first time a convenience store won favorite sandwich in America, and they only have stores on the East Coast. It's a bit of a cult. I'm guilty. I believe Councilmember Harris is guilty as well. My high school age son has asked if he could stay home in the morning from school to attend the grand opening. I did tell him no, but I am expected to bring home dinner. So I hope to see many of you there Thursday morning. I'll be there at least 8 a.m. I believe the ribbon cutting is at 8:30. But again, the first one in Montgomery County, and they chose to come to Gaithersburg. They've already ingrained themselves in the community. As this process has been going on, they've been a sponsor of Winter Lights and some of the other festivals in the city. So really just looking forward to welcoming them and getting my coffee in the morning. And that's all, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. We will go to Jamil.
Associate with everything good that you said, per usual. I'm looking forward to the sandwiches. The Splimpy, or what they call? They have a.
Well, they have hoagies.
Hoagies.
Yes.
For me, I was fortunate to attend the Forest Oak Middle School Career Day with 54 middle schoolers, and that was an experience. Thanks to Leah and the Clark staff for all the swag bag we brought them, and I think the poop emojis helped carry the conversation forward. So it's very fortunate to do that, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to Lisa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I get to follow the poop emojis.
Everybody poops each other.
Congratulations to all the award recipients with the police department. As always, as we go about our days and nights, thank you for protecting us when we don't even realize that you're doing it. So thank you for keeping us safe always. And congratulations to everyone who received an award this evening. I had the fantastic experience of with the community museum doing story time with 2, 3, and 4-year-olds. And for an entire book, I had their attention. And then the Wiggles overshadowed me. So they'd rather dance to Wiggle songs than listen to another word that I had to say. But it was a fantastic, we read a book a book and a half on Black History heroes. So I was glad to share that with the youngsters. I also attended the 3rd Annual Youth Summit, and the focus this year was anti-hate, a very important topic. So the high school students are trained on how to create a PSA, so a public service announcement regarding anti-hate. Hey, I don't know who the winner was yet. I'm not sure if anyone knows, but last year it was they did it in TikTok, and I suspect that might be the same with that age group. And I was highly ignored in that session as well. High schoolers could have cared less that I was there. So that was awesome. I have an announcement to read. A closed meeting was held in person by the mayor and city council on Thursday, February 15th, 2024 at approximately 4:07 p.m. Pursuant to a motion adopted unanimously, the session was proposed to be closed pursuant to general provision articles of the Annotated Code of Maryland, Section 3-305B1I. The appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or officials over whom it has jurisdiction. The topic discussed was the hiring and selection process for a new city attorney. Present at the meeting were Mayor Ashman, Council members Harris, Henderson, Hernandez, Vice President Council McNulty, and Wu. Staff present was City Manager Briley. Also present was Catherine Tuck Parrish, Vice President of Raftilis. Upon conclusion of the discussion, the closed executive section was adjourned at approximately 5:51 p.m.
Thank you, Lisa. We'll go to Neil.
All right, thank you, Mayor. So first of all, I'm also glad to see a bunch of scouts here. I am a veteran of the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts myself. I had a lot of great years. My father was an assistant scoutmaster, not only for the whole time I was in the Scouts, for many years afterward. So I had a great experience. I hope you all are too. And I know when I was a Boy Scout in Philadelphia, they never would have taken us to a city council meeting because they were way scarier than this. So hope you're all enjoying the show tonight. Also wanted to mention a little bit more about the bill that I testified on Friday. One of the things I discovered as I was getting ready to make my remarks was that the Washington D.C. region was ranked 49th out of 50 states in time for commuting. In other words, we have the second longest commuting time in the country, only beaten by New York State. And we rank dead last in satisfaction for commuting time. So I've been working on the Transportation Planning Board for a long time, and back in 2015, we had a presentation from Northern Virginia on an authority to generate money to spend on improving transportation in the Northern Virginia region. And my first thought was, why don't we do that? So I'm very glad that new delegate Ryan Spiegel has created a bill to get the process started. So hopefully we'll move up the ranks and only be 47th in the next couple of years. Anyway, no, I hope we do a lot better than that, and it's the first step in many. And I'm proud to be a part of the process going forward. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Go to Rob.
Thanks, Mayor. Congratulations to all the awardees. Does he have a reading to do?
No, you do.
Oh, okay. You don't want to do that? Okay.
You didn't ask me.
Congratulations to all the awardees. Ditto, everybody else. Can't wait to have one of those steak with a cheese submarine sandwiches that are served at Wawa.
Move to strike.
After closed executive session, a closed meeting was held virtually by the mayor and city council on Friday, February 23rd, 2024, at approximately 9 a.m. pursuant to a motion adopted unanimously. The session was proposed to be closed pursuant to the general provisions article of the Annotated Code of Maryland, section 3-305B1I, the appointment, employment, assignment, promotion, discipline, demotion, compensation, removal, resignation, or performance evaluation of appointees, employees, or office officials over whom it has jurisdiction. The topic discussed was the hiring and selection process for a new city attorney. Present at the meeting were Mayor Ashman, council members Harris, Henderson, Hernandez, McNulty, and Wu. Staff present was City Manager Briley, 2:30 p.m. arrival. Also present with Catherine Tuck Parrish, Vice President of Ratellis, and Candidate 1, 9:30 a.m. arrival, Candidate 2, 10:30 a.m. arrival, Candidate 3, 11:30 a.m. arrival, and Candidate 4, 1:30 p.m. arrival. Upon the conclusion of the discussion, the closed executive session was adjourned at approximately 3:24 p.m.
Thank you very much, Rob. I want to join everyone in my appreciation for the Boy Scouts being with us. Thank you, gentlemen. And I want to also echo the congratulations to our police, to Sheila, to our election staff, to all of our staff that make us proud every single day. As Tanisha says, the greatest staff in the world. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I think that's 100% true. Last week, I had the opportunity to spend a couple days in Annapolis for the Maryland Mayors Association conference. It was productive, a lot of great networking, a lot of legislative work and updates, and so that was a couple days last week. And then lastly, I want to start promoting the Gaithersburg Book Festival, which is coming up on May 18th. Well,
Never stop.
I really don't usually stop, but we have, especially you Boy Scouts, we have we have a tremendous event coming up on May 18th, Saturday, May 18th. It's over at Boer Park, right by the Gaithersburg High School. And it's free to attend and free to park. It's the book festival. We bring in some of the best authors and journalists, educators on the planet to come speak about their latest work, meet people, sign books. There's workshops, there's food, there's performances, there's entertainment for all ages. So, and look, they have the slide made up for it. Good job, Chris. Thank you. So hope you guys can make it. All the details you want are at gaithersburgbookfestival.org, and we don't have a schedule yet. It's still early, but it's time to start saving that date, May 18th. I will note that we will have a work session next week, a joint work session with the Planning Commission, Monday, March 11th, to follow up on our Retool Gaithersburg zoning ordinance discussion. That will be next week, March 11th, 7:30 p.m., right here or on Zoom. And then the next regular meeting of the Mayor and Council will be on Monday, March 18th. And With that, we need to have an executive session this evening. I need someone to make the motion for the executive session. It should be in your folder unless, Leah, did you print out a copy of that?
Oh, it's in the folder.
Thank you. Lisa, you can make the motion. Start there.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the mayor and city council of the city of Gaithersburg conduct a closed executive session immediately following its session tonight, Monday, March 4th, 2024, pursuant to the general provision article of the annotated code of Maryland, sections 3-305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice, and 3-305B8, to consult with staff, consultants, or other individuals about pending or potential litigation. The topics to be discussed are consulting with counsel to obtain legal advice regarding disputes related to the 16 South Summit Avenue construction project, and consulting with staff regarding potential litigation.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Thank you very much. Next, we have from the city manager.
I have nothing to report this evening, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, next we have economic development update. Tom Lonergan Seeger.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. Just one item tonight. The 333 Ellington Apartments in Crown is planning to open next month. 244 units in the project, including 43 studios, 147 one-bedroom units, 52 bedrooms, and even 4 three-bedrooms. And of those, 27 are set aside as moderately priced dwelling units, or MPDUs. Pre-screening for the MPDU units begins next week on the 15th, a full 8 days after the opening of Wawa. That's how you'll remember it, March 15th. Those interested must contact the leasing office of 333 Ellington for more information and to determine income eligibility. For reference, a one-person unit couldn't earn more than about $85,000, 2 persons $97,000, 3 persons just under $110,000. Information on how to be pre-qualified for the affordable units can be found on the 333 Ellington Apartments website. Check it out. That's all.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
So the Gaithersburg calendar is the BW and the AW, before Wawa and after Wawa calendar. I got it. Okay, ordinances, resolutions, and regulations. First, Guy Goodenough? Guy, there you are. Didn't see you back there.
I'm back here. How are you?
Yeah, hiding back
Mayor?
there. Welcome.
Thank you. This is a resolution authorizing the city manager to negotiate and enter into a contract for replacement firewall. City's current firewalls reach its end of serviceable life. The network firewall resides on the edge of the city's network as a critical component of our security infrastructure. This resolution authorizes the city manager to enter into a contract to procure the network firewall in the amount of $148,744.94. After examining the marketplace, network operations concluded that the Palo Alto solution represented the best fit for the city. This solution consists of 2 devices. One is a on-site spare, 5 years of licensing, 5 years of premium support, migration services, and related hardware accessories. The RFB 2024-002 was published January 10th, 2024, and it closed that same month on the 31st. We received 8 proposals, 3 were deemed responsive. E+ was the lowest offer. Purchase request was approved, and an FY24 asset replacement fund budget of $54,530.69 will be charged to FY24, with the remaining balance going to prepaid expenses, charging back to the operating of the appropriate fiscal year. So with that, I would open for any questions.
Thank you. Questions, comments? If not, would someone like to move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0. Thank you, Guy. Appreciate
Thank you.
it. Brian Helms, you knew you were next.
I was lurking in the wings. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Brian Helms, and I'm here with the Information Technology Department. I'm here before you tonight to request consideration of 2 resolutions. The first resolution is to authorize the city manager to negotiate and enter into a contract with Tyler Technologies. Tyler Technologies provides the city's current financial system, generally known as Munis, but recently renamed to Enterprise ERP, and land management software, generally known as EnterGov, but recently renamed to Enterprise Permitting and Licensing. Both of these systems are purchase systems, i.e. they are not software as a service systems, but rather the city owns them wholly outright. The proposed contract covers the annual software maintenance for both systems. This contract also covers processing and credit card fees for Tyler Technologies' Tyler Payments service, which is a software as a service product, as well as ongoing consulting services to keep both systems optimized to meet city needs. Software maintenance for each system is approximately $50,000, with a negotiated annual increase held to 3%. The proposed new contract will have a maximum duration of 3 years, with a total not to exceed cost of $525,000. And I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Brian. Questions, comments?
So is EnerGov the system we talked about a few years ago that broke us free of proprietary, or am I completely missing that conversation?
Broke us free of proprietary.
There was something about a legacy system that was rather costly for us, and we were looking for a new software solution.
We had a legacy. We had a relatively customized city content management system, so the main website, which was also coupled with campaign financing. It was egregiously expensive and has since been replaced by a much more cost-effective, much more city manager pleasing system from Granicus Technologies.
Oh, that's not this though.
That is not this.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, someone want to move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0.
Thank you so much. And then the second resolution I have for you tonight is to authorize the city manager to negotiate and enter into a contract amendment to extend maintenance of the city's ViewWorks asset management system for up to an additional 5 years. The ViewWorks system is used by Public Works to track assets and associated work. This includes assets like roads, sidewalks, street trees, and stormwater management facilities. And the city also owns this system outright. The proposed contract amendment covers annual software maintenance in the amount of $20,000 with a negotiated annual cost increase of $0 and allows for optional annual consulting to keep the system optimized to meet city's needs. The proposed amended contract will have a maximum duration of 5 additional years with a total not to exceed cost of $200,000. And I'd be happy to take any questions you might have on this resolution.
Lisa.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Brian, I wanted to ask, you and I talked, and I wanted to ask this
Yes, ma'am.
publicly. Because it was my understanding that ViewWorks did not have a structured database tied to it, and it was difficult to get data out of it.
Sure.
Can you address that, please?
Sure, yeah, the ViewWorks system is based on top of a standard Microsoft SQL Server platform, and it's just a normal relational database. We've managed to query and build reports out of it. We could do more reports, and we're working in that direction, but yeah, it's very typical. Munis and EnerGov, for instance, the two systems we discussed before, are also SQL Server based and are very easy for staff to extract data and do analysis off of.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Get you computer people. Power BI.
Would someone like to move the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, carries 5-0.
Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Brian. Next, we have policy discussions, and Chris Vance.
Good evening, Mayor, Council.
Good evening.
I promise you I'll have a much less technical conversation here. We're going to dumb it down for us police up here. Tonight, I'm presenting a draft amendment to city ordinance for policy discussion to section 4-36 of the city code, established members, officers, quorum, and voting meetings. Specifically, the proposed amendment would change membership provisions on the Animal Control Board and focuses on 2 main changes. First, it changes board membership from the veterinary community to representatives of the Maryland State Veterinary Medical Association. It also adds wording to practice or live within Montgomery County for those members. It also affects the regular board membership and the alternate board membership. Second, it changes how alternate board animal control board members are used. It removes requirements that alternate members can only fill in for specific absent board members. As we've discussed before, the reasons for the proposed amendments, it makes it more consistent with other city committees and boards. It allows flexibility for a board to maintain quorum and vote on animal control matters. And it changes the Veterinary Medical Association because there's no longer a Montgomery County Veterinary Medical Association. This proposed amendment was introduced to the council on January 2nd, 2024. The public hearing was held on February 5th, 2024. and the record was closed on March 1st, 2024. With that, I submit to the mayor and council for a vote, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much, Chris. Who would like to speak or move the approval of the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Carries 5-0.
All right, thank you very much.
Well done, thank you, Chris. One of our quickest policy discussions ever.
We like to keep it simple.
Yeah. From the city attorney, Frank.
I don't have anything tonight.
From any other staff? Okay, well, I will remind everyone to join us next Monday for our work session, retaking up the retool Gaithersburg zoning ordinance discussion. And then the next regular meeting of mayor and council will be on March 18th, Monday, March 18th. Until next time, let's do great things, Gaithersburg. We are adjourned.